Welcome back to another episode of Talk Movies. This week, joining me is Ian at The Film Pundit and Murray at Murray on Movies. This week, we're going to talk about a classic, Jurassic Park from 1993, one of Steven Spielberg's finest movies, and it's about an industrialist, John Hammond, who figures out how to recreate dinosaurs, and he wants to open up a theme park. Let's get right into it. What's your first memories of Jurassic Park, Ian?
I remember being absolutely manic about dinosaurs in the early 90s, mid 90s. I don't even know if I seen this in the cinema though. I can't remember. I was 8 years old when it got released, so it's difficult to remember stuff from that time. But I know I was mad about dinosaurs, and I wanted to be an archaeologist, and I had all the Jurassic Park toys. I'm sure
Oh,
I
amazing.
had one of the Jeeps as well. I had loads of the wee dinosaurs and that. And yeah, but then I found out you need to be actually intelligent for the job, so that was a no go for me. But it's fair to say I loved this movie. I was totally into the dinosaur craze back in the day.
Yeah. What about yourself, Murray?
Yeah, I was all about dinosaurs as a kid. I was about the same age. So this came out, 93. So I was either 8 or 9, depending on the month, because I forget exactly when it came out. But anyway, so my parents bought one of those VHS from the local guy down at the the car boot sale. It's one of those, and they tested it, and it was actually a fairly decent quality, but they decided to rent it anyway from Blockbuster. It's like, great, cool. And I couldn't watch it for years because the opening scene terrified the what's-its out of me. And the opening scene is the one where they're bringing the Velociraptor into the park under
Yeah.
the dead of night. And one of the crew gets eaten alive. And that was it for me. So I had to come back when I was a little bit older and watch it later because I just like, no, I'm not watching it. And so I think I caught it maybe 2 or 3 years later and absolutely loved it. But there was again one other scene that I'll talk about in a bit that even when I was older, it did me and I had nightmares for weeks.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like I think we forget like Jurassic Park's really cool, but it's a horror movie.
Yeah, in
Like,
parts, yeah.
at its roots, it's a horror. So that was my experience. It terrified me as a kid twice.
Yeah. So I was a little bit older than you guys, showing my age now, but I think I was 12 when it came out. So I remember all the merchandising and marketing. There was so much. It was McDonald's, everything. Like you could, like it was just dinosaurs everywhere. And I think obviously at the time, the premise was something that most people thought couldn't be done to recreate the dinosaurs. Obviously, ILM did the special effects on this, and I think that was what blew me away. I did go to see it in the cinema, and I'm exactly like you, Murray. I was petrified after that first scene. And I was 12, but I remember like not sleeping that night, like from that opening scene, just like kept like being scared of it. But I was a bit of a scaredy cat when I was younger. So but yeah, I just remember being really scared of the raptors basically. And obviously having seen it in the cinema, I absolutely loved it. Like just everything about it. The whole T-Rex stuff just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. So let's get dug into what do we love about this movie. I'll let you go first, Murray.
So for me, this was my introduction to Sam Neill. So I hadn't seen any of his previous stuff, and I thought his character was just so lovely. He's the guy who didn't want kids, and then by the end of the movie, he's the one who's the sole protector of the children, and he's the only reason really that they survive. But also, I like how they all help each other out. Like the young girl at the time, I think she was called Lex in the movie.
Yeah.
She's a computer hacker. Now, again, not particularly accurate, but like she ends up saving the day at one point, and then obviously
Very Tron. Very
very
Tron.
Yeah, and I love it. It's a Linux system as well, I think. I was like, okay, so Microsoft's not quite there yet. And so they all have like their own little bits to do, which is really cool. But again, it's just the dinosaurs even today look so good.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it's because they used a very good mixture of animatronics and obviously CGI, early CGI back in the time.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can tell the CGI when it's daytime, and I think because a lot of this is at night, it hides it well. And that's not just, hey, we don't have the money for this. It's Spielberg being clever. It's like, we know that CGI is not going to look great, so what's the best, most efficient way of hiding it? And it's to shoot most of it at night.
Yeah, yeah, do it in
And
the
then
dark.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And because it is predominantly a horror movie, it just works with the whole film itself. But yeah, it was my intro to Sam Neill, and I've loved him ever since. So when I saw him in Event Horizon, it was a huge, stark contrast.
I was going to say, just for the listeners. So Murray picked this week's choice of Jurassic Park because obviously of Sam Neill's passing, and he's a massive fan of Sam Neill, so that's why we're doing Jurassic Park this week.
So yeah, that was it for me. It was the whole horror aspect and the dinosaurs. They were awesome.
Dinosaurs.
Still are.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it just holds up so well. Like even today. What about yourself, Ian?
Yeah, talking of the practical effects and the animatronics, they were so cool. I think the CGI, as you're saying, some of it looks a wee bit janky now. So, like the first, is it the Brontosaurus or something like that? The first
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that they see, it's like, not sure about that.
You can see where, if you look close enough, you can see where they've obviously been retro cut round them, like round Sam Neill and stuff to put that in.
doing
But,
the rotoscoping and all that
yeah,
sort of
that's
stuff.
that's the word I
So,
was looking for.
so
Yeah, rotoscope.
yeah, I mean, it does still hold up. Like now, it's not brilliant in certain scenes, but for the most part, like 95% of it looks awesome. So
Yeah.
that was the main thing for me. Actually, a fact about the animatronics, Kathleen Kennedy was saying that when it rained, the animatronics would start playing up, so the T Rex would just start moving while they were having lunch and stuff like that. And you would just hear
That's quite
people
cool.
screaming in the background and that. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, the other main thing I would say, well, I've got a few, but the main thing I liked is the soundtrack. John Williams
Yeah,
soundtrack,
first note
awesome.
I've got.
So spellbinding, or it was amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the first note I've put down. Like, as soon as the movie starts, you're like, oh my God, how good is the soundtrack to this movie? It's John Williams just operating at the top of his game. I just absolutely love it. I've got a few likes that I had that I'll go through some stuff. So touching back on that opening scene again, Murray, it felt so much that Spielberg kind of learnt from Jaws. There's no reveal. We'll hide everything, so people don't know what's here. And it was like, and it, to your point, it's like it's building up the tension around the raptors, and how I'm trying to think of the word, but how vicious they are.
He makes him a proper villain, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah.
all of the, like by the end of the movie, and we're going to jump about a little bit because I think most people know this movie really well. By the end of the movie, T-Rex becomes the good guy because he saves him from the raptors. The raptors are throughout the entire thing the villain of this movie, other than say, what's his Nedry, obviously the guy who allows all of this to happen in the first place. But I don't know if Spielberg went in with this in mind, but he's got personalities for the dinosaurs. And I think this is something that the later movies didn't encapsulate quite so well because they tried to do it with Jurassic World, but they actually had to give it like a proper name. They called it Blue. So they tried to humanize it. Whereas Spielberg's like, no, they're the villains. And rather than trying to give them a personality, we're just going to show you what they can do. And it's terrifying. And I think that's what makes this so effective, even 30, 40 years later, is the fact that the dinosaurs could so easily just be this huge spectacle. But it's like, no, he treats them all very, very differently because they're stalkers, they're bad guys, they're villains. The T-Rex is larger than life. The dinosaur that terrified me is so unassuming and cute until it's not.
The one with the...
Yeah, that was the way. Oh my God, when that reveal and he spat the venom out, I was like, oh my God. I should say she, shouldn't I? Because they're all female. Like that was the whole. Hey, they can't breed because they're all women. I was like, yeah. Okay. So for me, it was the fact that he gave all the dinosaurs personality without having to do something like naming them or trying to give them little quirks. And that was it's just so effective.
Yeah, no, I think like that's again on that opening scene. I just they build up that fear, and they do it. He does the exact same thing with the T Rex until the big reveal, obviously. Um, the second one I loved about the movie was uh the big dinosaur reveal, like the big brontosaurus you were talking about earlier, Ian. You kind of, before you get to see it, you live it through the actors' reactions. Like he shows them all reacting, and then you kind of get to sit with it, and then there's the big reveal. I love that. I thought that's like, because it just builds it up and builds it up, builds it up, and gets you excited for what are they looking at, what's coming. And I just love that. I absolutely love that. And that's
And
the
they do
first
that with the T-Rex as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
In the
The,
car,
the
so it's
ripples
like
in the
the
water.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's so
do you
good.
know how they did that? They had a guy under the dashboard strumming guitar strings.
That's cool.
I think I've heard that one actually. Yeah. But I think someone also said that like in real life that wouldn't happen. Like even if it was making
Can't
the
recreate
ripples
that.
wouldn't happen. But to make it effective for screen, obviously they did that, which I think is so cool.
All the dinosaurs then have had like a reveal that's super slow, like the Velociraptors in the beginning, the Brontosaurus where you see everybody's reactions first, the T-Rex where the T-Rex fails to show up for the goat. And I think it's such an effective line as well. It's like T-Rex doesn't want to be fed; he wants to hunt. It's like, oh, okay, here we go. And then obviously with the water drops, as the T-Rex is slowly approaching, like everything has such a slow reveal, and then it goes into, well, essentially, for lack of a better term, it goes into the action part. It's like the T-Rex arrives and everything hits the fan, and the Velociraptors start hunting and ripping things apart. It's just so effective, and every dinosaur gets its own reveal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. This is one of the notes I made as well. Is there's so many iconic scenes and lines in this movie that people still use today, like over 30 years later. Like obviously you've got Jeff Goldblum's character, Malcolm. Yeah, life finds a way, and obviously welcome to Jurassic Park. Like everyone knows that, like that line. It's this like Star Wars, like use the Force.
Yeah.
It's one of those just ever quotable lines. The T-Rex war scene, the raptor scene with the utensils, tapping the utensils and stuff like that. Like there's just so many quotable lines and scenes in this movie. I just couldn't. I just love this movie. So good.
So good.
The best ones though, hold on to your butts.
Now, funny enough, Sam Jackson is a guy that I continuously forget is in this movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, every time I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this. It seems like such
smoking
a
constantly.
choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say chain smoking.
Yeah, he's playing a chain smoking nerdy IT guy. Like that's so far removed from anything he does. And I think that's why I keep forgetting that he's in this. But again, it's not that he's forgettable. It's just that everybody else is so good. And normally in a Sam Jackson film, he's the one that's, the best of the best. And then the reveal to his character, again, it kind of plays a little bit as a cheap shock scare, but it's also mildly funny. When his arm drops on Sadler's, on Ellie's shoulder.
Yeah.
Say, "Oh, Arnold, there you are," and then she turns around. No, just his arm. Like the rest of him is no longer here.
Yeah, that's a killer. That's a killer.
So
I think as well. Look, Jeff Goldblum for me is a standout in this movie. I absolutely loved him in this, and he's just chewing up the screen every single time he's on it. He's playing like the charismatic mathematician or whatever it is. And I love that speech that he does at the dinner table where he's like, you didn't think that you didn't think whether you should, and stuff like that. Like I think that whole scene where like obviously Richard Attenborough, John Hammond is saying like, I didn't think the only person that would tell me not to do this is the lawyer, the blood sucking lawyer, and I just like that whole scene's great. I love that scene as well.
Yeah, me too. That was a standout for me as well because like, see when you're a kid, it's the dinosaurs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but this time when I watched it, that was the standout scene, because everybody's like the moral complexities of this whole park, and Hammond's like absolutely distraught with everybody that's being so negative, apart from the insurance guy that sees the pound notes sort of thing. But I love the whole interaction, the script, the camera work, the lighting, everything's just great in that whole scene. So that was another major standout for me. But it's interesting to see how your taste changes over the years, you know. Like
Yeah,
now as a 40-year-old, I like that scene, whereas previously I was like loving the cartoon and the exposition and all that sort of stuff.
I say that all the time. Like it's weird, like having you're at an age now where you've went through life experiences, and it's like how different certain scenes hit in movies and stuff like that compared to like when you were younger. Like when I was younger, it was just like if it looked cool, it was cool. Now I'm more interested in the dialogue and how it's filmed and what it looks like and stuff like the acting and stuff rather than just what like aura farming. And I think yeah, I always say that like go back and watch these older movies like that you've seen and maybe not seen in a long time. You'll totally appreciate them again from a totally different perspective.
Because
Definitely.
when I was a kid, the exposition scene was actually something that I just paid no attention to. I wanted to see the dinosaurs again. I didn't care about this. But now that I'm older, I watch that and I'm like, this is actually one of the most clever exposition scenes I think I've ever seen in a movie, because it's the main characters taking part in a ride that's meant for the general public to explain in a really humorous way using, cartoons and science how they were able to do this. Whereas a lesser movie, you'd have had one of the scientists, probably when they're looking at the raptor eggs, just explain it to you. Oh, we used DNA from frogs to fill in the gaps that we didn't have, and here we have a velociraptor egg. Like that would have been the easiest and laziest place to put it, but at no point was that ever the case. Every part of this movie was thought through so damn well.
Yeah, I think like in the fact that it was aimed at like a wide audience, it's aimed at kids and it's aimed at adults. I think that's Spielberg's took all that into consideration. That's very much maybe a more kiddie thing, but again, it means that the younger audience totally gets it. Like I remember 12 totally got it. Like people younger would have totally got that and understood it, and I think that's like as you said, that's the genius of it. Another thing I wanted to touch on was, and I know we kind of touched on, Ian had touched on some of the CGI and stuff like that. See just the practical effects. And one of the scenes that I love is the Jeep in the tree scene.
Yes.
And it's very clear that that's on a set, it's practical, like it's a built tree or whatever, but it's still so incredibly well shot and well done. But it's that last part where he goes and grabs the boy and the car comes down on them, and I'm like, that's a real car. Like, they've had to time that incredibly well to get that to work properly. Either that or they've like sped it up in post-production or something, but
what
that was...
I watched the behind the scenes on some of this stuff.
Amazing.
So what they did was they actually, the car fell down and they just led down in a pre-dug gap. So the car never hit the floor. So the gap was wide enough for the three of them to lie in perfectly safely, but not wide enough for the car to actually fall through the gap. So the car was caught by the edges of the gap, and they were all just led there, actually under the car. And then obviously they cut later and they're in the car. It's shot so well that you'd never see that. Like it looks like the car comes down right on top of them. And the only reason they're alive is because the roof has been previously removed by a giant dinosaur. But it's perfect. Like these practical effects and the little tricks with the camera, using just something as simple as angles. It's so good. Yeah,
and that's I'd probably say it repeatedly on this podcast. That practical beats CGI every single time for me. There's maybe some small exceptions, but I think in general, try to do it practically, and if you can't, then use the technology. But practical it'll always feel more real, and it gives the reactions and the actors something to work off of rather than a floating ball with dots on it.
Sir Ian McKellen said it best.
Yeah.
When he did the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, most of it was practical. They built everything, including like the armor and everything was practically there. So it gave him people to talk to and to interact with. And he actually got massively depressed on the set of The Hobbit because they'd switched from practical to mostly CGI. And so he was just he was on a stage giving reactions to nothing, and he hated every second of it.
Yeah, and you hear it all the time, even with like the actors doing the Marvel movies, they talk about it. Like, I think when Josh Brolin was approached to play Thanos, he phoned up Mark Ruffalo and he was like, I'm not sure about this. Like, and Mark Ruffalo kind of had to talk him round. Like, oh no, actually, it's all right. Like, we'll do that. But yeah, I can't imagine filming like Avengers Endgame. Like, people are not on set together. It must be incredibly hard to get a performance out of like an actor on that type of thing. I can understand if you've got them on something, maybe they're like in Avatar where they're flying and they've got them on some sort of mechanical arm thing and they're moving them around so that they've got the movements and everything. I can imagine that being a bit easier, and I think the way Jim Cameron does it, he's got stuff in front of them that they can see and stuff as well. But again, just go practical. Practical is the way ahead. Yeah.
The animatronics were awesome. And they were like that T-Rex. Like, I'm sure I've seen somewhere they were talking about it. It was like a bus flying past them every time the head moved. Sort of it was that fast and that big and heavy.
Well.
I think they also had to put alarms, like lights, to go off so that they knew it was actually going to start up, so nobody was standing in the way. Otherwise, they were going to get KO'd from that.
Nice.
But yeah, it looks so much better having that practical,
especially when you're going to spend that much time with them as well. It's like the Velociraptors. The only reason that they are terrifying is because the animatronics are actually there. Like, you can see it. It's like, oh my god, that thing is in front of you. Its teeth are huge and it's going to tear you apart. Yeah,
I love the nail tapping with a nail. Yeah.
And the opening of the doors when you realise the Velociraptors are getting intelligent. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like, they got brains as well. We're screwed.
And they did it so well, like the scene where the T-Rex is chasing the Jeep with Jeff Goldblum in the back. It took me 10 years to realise that was CGI. I was like, how did they make that dinosaur move that fast?
I know, right?
And it's so seamless. And I get, they do it at night, so it kind of it makes it a wee bit easier for them to do the special effects and stuff. But that was like 33 years ago. That's incredible. To like, when you think, I don't think it would look, in fact we know that because we've seen Jurassic World movies, it didn't look that good 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So like, it still always just looks incredible. Absolutely.
Speaking of that scene, see that T-Rex scene you're talking about, Jeff Goldblum, where he says, must go faster. There's also a link between that and Independence Day, because he does that when he's in the mothership. Leaving the world. Let's go faster.
So he does. That's good. I also loved the design of the Jeeps, and so you've got the smaller Jeep. The smaller Jeep was red and white. The tourist Jeeps were, I think it was like kind of yellow and green and brown or something. Yeah. And I remember back in the day, like, I love these. I want these toys. Like, I want these. And I was 12. I probably shouldn't have been playing with them. But yeah, movie geek that I am.
Dude, like, I'm 40. I still play with toys now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Our toys just get bigger and more expensive.
Yeah. We have adult money now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen Lego have started bringing out the Jeep, so I might make an acquisition.
Oh, I like that. Talking of practical effects, I think one of the best, and it's so simple, is the Triceratops, the sick Triceratops. Because one of the best, like, most wholesome moments is when Alan Grant, his whole body is resting on the stomach, and he's just going up and down with the breathing of the animatronic, and he's got this massive, great big grin on his face because his character cannot believe that he's there, basically hugging a real-life Triceratops. It's just a beautiful moment, and it would not have hit anywhere near as well if it had been I don't know, a green blob CGI that they just kind of put
Yeah,
up and
put
I'm
in
doing
it.
some weird things with
Yeah.
my hands now. Just pushed up and down to try and get Sam Neill to move. It's like it just wouldn't have hit as well, not even
Yeah.
close. And obviously, it
Yeah.
has one of the most iconic lines of all time that I think many of us have used at work, and that's one big steaming pile of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for swearing. I can't. It's just massive. It's just huge. But it was the delivery of the line. It's just so matter of fact. It's like, so that's a Triceratops dung. Okay.
And it's created a meme for the last 30 years.
True.
But that scene just would not have been as good if it hadn't have been an animatronic. It was just so good to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the movie is just that good. Like, I see. Looking at, so I've watched it twice this year. I watched it, I think, at the start of the year, and then obviously when you said we were going to do it for the pod, I was like, I'll watch it again to take some notes and stuff. And having watched Disclosure Day this year as well with Steven Spielberg, I've started to realise how he uses the camera quite consistently in the same sort of way throughout a lot of his movies, and I love that. Like, just how he does, like, he has a lot of sprawling shots, and I don't know how, I'm assuming it's on a crane or whatever it is, but it's just the way the camera just kind of swings round, and it's so good. And he, like I say, he does that. He kind of does that with the Brontosaurus reveal. But yeah, it's so good. How it's directed by Spielberg. I think this was, mid-90s he was at his peak. I would say, and I think this was right in the middle of it. We talked about it just before we started, Murray, about how many movies he's got.
Incredible run.
Yeah.
70s to the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he was also doing the post-production for Schindler's List while... he was doing the post-production for this while he was directing Schindler's List. It was like, what? Mental run.
Because he doesn't look... Well, I don't think so. At least he doesn't look his age. Like, that man seems to have a tremendous amount of stamina when it comes to his career, at least.
You say the same with Ridley Scott. Like, the two of them are in their 80s, and like, Ridley Scott's doing a movie a year. Yeah. It's like, in my 80s, I'll be just happy if I can get out of my bed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, with my back, I don't know if I'll still be working at 80. And it's like, no way, no chance. But yeah, like, these guys are super creative and just keep doing it. I know obviously Spielberg has slowed down over the years, but yeah, I think this whole movie, he's at the peak of his powers.
So good.
I know you had some...
I want to mention about Bob Peck, who has obviously passed away as well, but he played Muldoon, the Velociraptor expert with the very cool Indiana Jones looking hat. I thought he was one of the coolest guys in this whole film. Like, he's matter of fact, he's no nonsense. He has a kick-ass shotgun, and he explains the Velociraptor's tactics for hunting prey, and becomes a victim of the tactics that he's aware of as well, which is so unfortunate. Like, his ending, again, talk about iconic lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Girl. Yeah. That's like, oh, and then he gets eaten alive. And again, this is the PG-13 rating, but you don't see him getting eaten alive. All you see is the unflinching eye of one of the other velociraptors just watching him being torn apart. And that is probably far more effective in terms of reaction and camera work as if you'd actually seen the guy getting eaten. It's just so clever because for him, like, it's a really big deal. For the Velociraptor, you're just Tuesday lunch. Where's the next lunch? Like, it's so good.
It's such an iconic scene in general. My sister actually has that Velociraptor bit tattooed on her. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's on her thigh, I think. It's pretty big. Not to my taste, but she loves it. But yeah, it's like that's such a good scene, and he's so good in it. Like, as you say, that delivery of the T-Rex line earlier in the movie as well. And obviously, yeah, he's underrated in this movie, and he's the first person you see on screen as well, isn't he?
Yes, he's in the
Yes.
beginning when the
Yeah.
guy unfortunately gets eaten by the velociraptor because he's the one who's making sure the raptor gets
like-
into the cage. Yeah.
I think
And the hand just
I-
goes, yeah.
I actually think that's kind of similar to the camera movement I was talking about. They come in and then he
Yeah.
pulls out and you see everything. But that's like the first scene is him kind of with the rain on him and stuff. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What about yourself, Ian? Have you got any more likes? I know we could probably end up sitting here all night talking about them.
I mean, probably we've touched on it a little bit, the cast and the characters. I think the characters are really well written. They're quickly fleshed out and things like that. I think the exposition's really good. I think it's just a really well written movie. You know, the characters, the story, the exposition. Apparently, there's like another 70% of the book, which is kind of not in the film. But
Yeah.
but yeah, they've condensed it so well. I think Michael Crichton, the author, actually wrote the script as well, so he kind of contributed to that. So
Yeah, he
great.
wrote it with David Cope. The two of them co-wrote it together.
But yeah,
and
the
that's
characters
good.
become so relatable quick. You know, like Grant being a grumpy man at the start, and then he develops.
Yeah.
There's loads of character arcs, and even the relationships between the characters as well. So you've got like Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern. They actually ended up in a 2-year relationship, and they got engaged after this. So you could see that
Yeah,
the flirting
yeah.
was actually kind of
Real.
realistic as well. So it's just all those relationships kind of worked well between all the different characters, even the kids as well. You've got what was his name, Joseph Mazzello,
Mazzello.
who's
Yeah.
now in like Bohemian Rhapsody and loads of different films. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a great cast, great characters, great script, just all in all great, basically.
We've not even touched on him either as well. Richard Attenborough, really, not really
Oh, of
touched on
course.
him. As Hammond, he is like he's larger than life in this movie, and it's the only movie I've ever seen him in, but he's so famous,
Yeah.
because of it. Like I know he's a famous actor, but I've only ever seen him in Jurassic Park.
I saw him in Miracle on 31st Street, I think it was called.
I've never seen that one.
That was a fun one. It was
Yeah, he was Santa.
trying to prove that Santa Claus was real.
Yeah,
That was a fun one.
I'll take
I
it
think
back.
that's
He's
the
in.
only other one I know.
He's in The Great Escape. I've seen that. He's in The Great
Right.
Escape. Yeah.
Cool.
I've seen
I've
that.
not seen that one yet.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah. And
60s.
again, one of the best lines in the whole movie is when Alan Grant and the kids and everybody has finally escaped and they're running to the Jeep that Hammond is driving, and very casually whilst he's running he's like, yeah, I've decided not to endorse your park. And as he drives off, Hammond's like, yep, nor have I. And then, right, let's get out of here. I was like, again, just these little moments between the characters are so good, as you were saying, Ian. Like, everybody's got their thing, which is so nice.
Yeah, it's very well cast. Very well cast. So let's
One of
touch
the,
on.
Sorry, I was going to say one
No.
of the best deaths I think that we haven't touched upon is the blood-sucking lawyer. When you got you gotta go. And because that's one of the deaths that you actually see, like you full on see the animatronic or CGI eating the character, and it's actually one of the only times that you do see it. Most of the time they cut away. Point in case, the one that scared me the most with the Dilopper, whatever it is, the one that spits venom that doesn't actually exist or never existed in real life. They cut to the outside of the Jeep, and the Jeep is just rocking back and forth. Like, the way that they do it, they imply more than they show, but that's one of the ones that they show, and it's so well done.
Yeah, and it's just to show how like terrifying the T-Rex is. Like I love this scene as well, like how the whole toilet just goes and just opens up. He's like, uh-oh. It's just hilarious how that does it. But I was going to say, I know we could probably wax lyrical about this movie for another hour. What are some of the things in the movie that you dislike or you would change? I'll let you go first, Ian. I know you're quite good at these.
I literally don't have that much, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's mostly like continuity or, things like that. But there's also a slight lack of realism in I know it's like ridiculously over the top, and it's not going to be real at all. But like the Velociraptor cage is so small. Like how are those raptors going to be like kept in that one cage for forever, basically? Not a chance.
I
It's
wrote
like
that as well.
the
I was
size
like,
of a house.
that's so small. yeah,
And they're like
definitely.
10 foot tall as well. Like Spielberg actually made them like taller than the ones they had found at that point. And
Yeah,
then as they were filming, they actually found these raptors that were 10 foot tall. I think they were called Utah raptors or something like that, I think.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
had decided they're not scary enough at like 5 foot, 7 foot tall. We need to make them 10 foot tall. And then they've sort of created them themselves almost,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Cool. What about yourself, Murray? You got any little nitpicks?
Oh, it's a really silly one. I think we mentioned it before. It's just the way that the whole hacking thing was, but it's the early 90s. Like, it's forgivable. And it's really difficult to make a hacking scene look interesting, like, at all, because it's really not. So any visualization, in fact, one of the movies that does it the absolute worst is Swordfish, but any visualization is terrible.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's absolutely god awful. Yeah. But at least they didn't do that. But honestly, no, I think nothing's perfect. I'm sure if I thought long enough, I would. But I just think it's absolutely fantastic. Like, it doesn't feel like it's too long. It doesn't feel like it's too short. They used CGI sparingly. Every time they could use practical, they did. As Ian said, the characters were well written and fleshed out. Like,
Pacing's great as well.
Yeah, like the pacing's great. I cannot think of anything that's not. So if you want to go on a tangent, it's like, well, the relationship between Alan Grant is like, they're like 10 to 15 years between us. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like, I know people in real life who've got relationship gaps that big. I just don't care. The movie's great. It's just so good. One thing that I wanted to mention, because I'm sure it's common knowledge these days, but when I read about it, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. The only reason that Alan Grant has a really cool hat is because they wrote it for Harrison Ford originally.
That's right.
And obviously working together with Harrison Ford on Indiana Jones, it's like, that's why he's got an Indiana Jones style hat. It makes so much sense now, because they wanted Harrison Ford for that part to start with. But I'm so glad that Sam Neill got it.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I've got two little nitpicks, nothing major. One of them is the electric fence scene. So when he gets shocked and he's standing and he must be about 20 feet away from the fence and he's like, jump. And I'm like, you ain't catching him there. And then obviously he gets shocked and he lands on his arms and I'm like, I'm not quite sure about this. But again, that's a stupid little nitpick thing. Like, it's a movie. Like, blah, blah, blah. The other one...
set up for that, though. You think the electricity is just going to get turned on straight away when they pull the switch. But then it cuts back and it's like, oh, you need to press all these buttons.
Yeah.
Setting the tension.
It's great. You're like, oh, it's going to go on straight away. And no, it spills up tension.
It's like, is he going to jump? Is he going to get shot? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. No, it's so good. And the other one is actually Richard Attenborough. So I don't know if you've noticed it. Ian might have. He's got a Scottish accent in the caravan or the camper van or whatever it is at the start. And then he just ditches it after that. Like, they've obviously just went, dude, you're not good at this. Because like the accent comes and goes in that first scene, like, really badly. And it is, like, as a Scotsman, it's a bad accent. And even now I'm putting on my work voice. This is not how I talk. But yeah, I do remember them reading something about it where they basically just said to him, like he just basically went, nah, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And he just...
nobody cared.
Yeah, because he completely ditches it after that. There's no Scottish twang or anything anywhere in it. But those are just the two little things that I had picked out. I think this is his... I give this 9 out of 10, so it's not perfect for me, but it's as near perfect as you can get, I think.
Everything just works.
The
music, not the filmography, Jesus. The music and the camera work. And
cinematography.
Cinematography is what I was looking for. Thank you. Everything just works. It's so good. But he's learned a lot from the likes of Jaws and E.T. and everything before it, because you can see, especially as you said, with the way that he moves the camera through the scenes, you can see his fingerprints all over this. Like, he's really honed his craft in at this point.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, he had earned to do what he wanted as well by this point, so he could write his own check essentially. Like, I'm just going to go make this movie, and like everyone was just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
like
that's why this is why I couldn't understand. He volunteered to direct the new Call of Duty movie, and they were like, nah, that's Spielberg you just said no to. The dude who did Saving Private Ryan, and you're like, nah. No, I'm still not happy. Like, I'm sure the director will be great. I'm still
Peter
not
Berg.
happy about that decision.
It's Peter Berg that's directing it. He did,
and he'll do a fantastic job.
Lone Survivor.
Yeah, and I loved Lone Survivor. But if Spielberg comes to you and says, I'll happily direct, yes.
I think, from what I understand in that, he wanted full creative control. So
Give it to him.
So he was like, I'm doing this. I'm taking your IP and I'm doing what I want with it. And whereas obviously they're a bit more protective of their IP and they want to oversee what's the story and stuff like that. Studio interference, as you say.
Play Call of Duty
Studio notes.
because I don't think protecting their IP is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they're trying to rebuild their IP.
Yeah, like right now their IP is in the gutter.
Yeah. But I've heard the new movie is going to be based on Modern Warfare. So the first one.
Yeah, no, it has to be. It's the most popular of all of the COD films.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I could go off on a tangent on that. But yeah, he's just so good at what he does.
Yeah. So, would we recommend Jurassic Park? I think this might be a clean sweep here, but I'll go first. I highly recommend it. I think you should watch it with your kids. Like, I'm desperate. My kids are 6 just now and a bit scared of stuff still, so I think I'll maybe give it another year or two before I watch it with the 2 young ones. But I'm definitely. They have went on the rides at Universal Studios, to be fair, but I do want to kind of watch that with the 2 little ones and see the reaction. One of them's a big dinosaur fan, so she'll absolutely start to love these, I think. So I highly recommend for me.
Nice. Much the same. My son, he's 8 now. I tried to watch it with him not long ago. It's still a bit too scary for him, which is fair because I was about the same age when I first watched it. And like, he's a massive dinosaur and Godzilla fan. I tried to watch Godzilla -1 with him. No chance. Again, it's more of horror. But so when he's old enough, yeah, I can't wait to watch this with both of my kids. But I'd recommend it to anybody. Like, it's 30 plus years old. If you've not seen it now, you must be quite young. So yeah, go back and watch it.
Yeah, you need to. And Ian?
Yeah, I'd highly recommend it over the Jurassic World movies. Yeah, go and watch this, and then just forget about the other movies. I think. Lost World isn't bad.
Yeah, I don't mind the Jurassic World movies. I liked what they tried to do, and then they kind of backtracked on it, because there was a bit of backlash on it, and the third one was just a mess. The most recent one was okay, Rebirth. It was just okay. But it treaded very much the same ground as this one, but not as well.
It made a lot of money as well, so they'll just continue doing that.
Well, they're making another one. Yeah, there's another one coming. Yeah, an 8th one is coming.
Yay! I must admit, God, talk about these franchises going on and on and on. When you first watch them, I know that we're younger, but I would never have thought we'd be talking about the most recent Jurassic World like 30 plus years later.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah.
Especially how bad the third one was. Like, how I don't know if it flopped. Did it actually flop, or
I don't know?
It just wasn't very popular. I mean, like the Alan scene.
I enjoyed the second one, and I was excited to have Alan Grant back in the third one. But I didn't enjoy the third one. I was a bit disappointed. Since I'm a little older and the disappointment has subdued, I can enjoy the third one now for what it is, but it's not a patch on the...
It's the first one. The first one was made for $63 million and made 1.1 billion.
Yeah,
so like in today's in today's world, that is the equivalent of about 1.8, 1.9 billion on $100 billion budget. Like, that is a ridiculous return on investment.
Yeah, that's marvelous.
Did you see how much Spielberg earned on it?
Was he on a percentage?
Yeah.
He was
Back
on a
in.
profit share.
250.
Yeah.
250 million. So you got a quarter of that. Mental.
250 million he got?
You got
Yeah, jeez.
Always go on a profit share. Always get the rights to the toys. Lucas did it best.
Yeah.
Because Fox had no hope. They're like, nah, it's going to be rubbish. Yeah, you can take all the rights for the toys. You idiots. Maybe if you hadn't been so idiotic, you wouldn't have sold to Disney.
On next week's podcast. So this week what we're going to do is we're also going to do a top 5 Steven Spielberg movies, since the man actually has directed in and around about 60 feature movies by now. It should actually be pretty difficult to pick a top 5, but let's get to it. He's actually directed 58. They're not all movies, though. There's some TV shows and stuff in there, but and shorts and stuff. But he's probably done in and around 50 movies. I'll just go top to bottom. So I'm at the top of my screen. So I will go first. I'll give my top 5 Spielberg movies. These are in rating order. I said to Murray before we started that I've got a very clear number 1. And then I've got about 6 or 7 that could probably fill the other 4 slots. But I'll give my 5 for now anyway, in reverse order. So number 5 is the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the third one. That's my favourite of the 3. I just love the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, even though they're playing father and son and there's 10 years between them.
It works.
It works. It really does work, and it's just such a fun movie. I think the comedy element really works on it, and it's just such a great movie. Number 4 is probably what everyone would consider the first ever summer blockbuster, Jaws. Again, the creativity from Spielberg when they couldn't get the animatronic shark to work, to just decide, let's not show it. And he's made a career off the back of that. But that shows you how creative he is and how creative they got making that movie. Super low budget. Again, absolute blockbuster. Number 3 is tonight's movie, which is Jurassic Park. I absolutely love Jurassic Park. I think it's amazing. I'd highly recommend it. Number 2 is Schindler's List. I know you said you haven't seen this one, Murray. It is great. It's a hard watch. It's not an easy watch. I think you'll appreciate it more as an adult, I would say. Maybe watch it if you're 30 plus. If you're under 30, you probably won't appreciate it quite as much. Or maybe once you've had kids or something. once you stop thinking you're invincible. And my favourite Spielberg movie of all time is Saving Private Ryan. I think that is the best war movie that's ever been made. That opening scene is incredible. Is, to your point earlier, Murray, like that is just some of the best filmmaking to this day, and it's 30 years ago.
It's also secretly stacked. Like when you watch it now and you spot all the famous people who became famous after that movie, Spielberg's got an eye for talent. He knew what was going on.
Yeah, that was Vin Diesel's first movie.
Yeah. And look at him now.
Matt Damon, like it was only his second or third movie or whatever it was. Like it's a ridiculously stacked cast, and it's just incredibly well acted. It's incredibly well made. It is 3 hours, so it's quite a long watch. But I just like like that first scene's half an hour, and it feels like 30 seconds. Like it's just incredible. I love how they made that as well. Like none of it was choreographed. They just did it, and then just started filming it, and like just because he basically wanted the chaos to feel real for the actors and stuff. So he was just like, yeah, there's stuff going to be blown up next to you and stuff like that. Just react.
Yeah, just don't stand there or there because we've got explosives dug into the sand. It's like, okay,
yeah, off you go. But no, that's my top 5. But again, I think there's 2 or 3 movies like E.T., Hook that I loved as a kid. That would potentially get in there. Minority Report I love as well. But he's got a stacked catalogue. What about yourself, Ian?
Well, I've only got one that's different for you.
All right, okay.
It's slightly different order though, but
okay.
I mean, it was quite easy for me because I went to my ratings for Spielberg movies, and there was only 5 that had like 10 ratings, so 10 out of 10 on all of them. Number 5 is Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park,
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Number 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the only one that was different for your top 5,
okay.
and I love that Indiana Jones movie. It's brilliant. Number 3, The Last Crusade, as you said, probably my favourite Indiana Jones movie. It's got the humour, it's got the relationships, it's just a great story. Brilliant, loved it. And then my top 2 is the same as yours, Schindler's List. I only actually watched this, I think I actually watched it twice in the last 6 months, because I don't think it impacted me enough the first time I watched it, and I thought, I missed something here. So I watched it again, and I was like, yeah, that's incredible movie.
Yeah.
I don't actually mind black and white movies now. I used to really hate them.
I'm the same.
Love that as well.
Yeah.
About that. And then number 1, Saving Private Ryan, greatest war movie ever made. As you said, love it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good 5, Ian. A good. What about yourself, Murray? I know you had said you weren't going to do them in any particular order, but.
Well, I've changed my mind a little bit because you've both finished with. You're absolutely right. The greatest war movie of all time. So I can't do this in release order because then my final. You'll see what I mean. I'm just going to start. So, oh my god, some of the movies I've not seen. I'm going to preface this now. Like, I've not seen AI, artificial intelligence, which is weird because I'm all about sci-fi. So yeah, I've got some gaps. This one is just how it makes me feel. All right. Number 5, The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah.
I love
it's
that
good.
movie.
It
was between that and Catch Me If You Can. They're both deeply entertaining, but for me, it was just I got more of the feels with The Terminal. Anyway, after that, it's pretty much more straightforward. So yeah, much like yourself, I am a huge fan of Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, excuse me. For much the same reasons. I think the relationship between the two characters is fantastic. I think the story is compelling. The action is great. And it still looks like a modern film. Like the other two look a little dated now. Not much, but this one still feels like it could have been released a couple of years ago. And then we go on to Jurassic Park. So, yeah, like 100%. Jurassic Park is so good. And it stuck with me so long as a kid. And then after that, it's the film that I think Spielberg hates the most, and that's Hook. I basically grew up with Hook, had it on VHS, watched it dozens of times, but I also really, like as a kid, I really related to Peter Pan's story of being a lost boy, not really knowing where he belongs, and then he starts to put work over his family. And a lot of that resonated as a kid because a lot of that was going on in my own life with my parents, etc. So, we don't need a therapy session, but it hit very, very personally. And then, yeah, for me, I think this is number 5 or number 1, technically. It's the same. Like, I don't think you can beat it. It's Saving Private Ryan. It's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and it stuck with me for years. And I still go back and watch it now, probably more than any of his others, other than Last Crusade, because it's just good fun.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times. I remember I actually watched it at my friend's house, and he'd went and bought like a full surround sound kit with a subwoofer. And this is when we still live with our parents, by the way. And he went out and bought like £1,000 sound system for his DVD player in this like box room. And but he had like these speakers, he'd embedded them into the wall. and I was just sitting on a chair. He was sitting on his bed, and I was sitting on a chair like next to his bed, but the speaker was like right here, and I ducked like twice during that opening scene. I was like, "Fuck is that?" And he's like, and I was like, "What was that?" And he was like, "Ah, it's the speaker." And I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good then. It's worth the money." But yeah, no, it was such a good such a good experience just watching that. I didn't get to see it in the cinema. Just I don't really know why, but I must have watched it 50, 60 times on DVD, easy. Like from about 98 until about 2010, I think I probably watched it religiously every 3 months. Just absolutely loved it. It's probably in my top 5 of all time.
Yeah, and justified as well. It's such a good movie. I think Ian might disagree.
No, I think it's in my top 20 or something like that, I think. But yeah,
Top 20.
It's close.
I'm going to do a top 50 at some point. I need to try and put it down on paper for me, because I'm like, I jump around a lot, but I know there's 5 or 6 movies that are definitely in the top 10. And that's us. Thanks for joining us this week. We're on all the usual podcast platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. You've got all, if you're watching us in video on YouTube or Spotify, you can see our tags, which are on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. And we'll chat again next week.
See you.
See ya.